Thank you for tuning in to listening to my podcast called Dropping Jewels. Just wanted to let you know that I am new pretty much on the YouTube platform. I do have the podcast via audio, which is much like you're listening now, but I am on all major listening platforms. So I want you guys to go ahead and listen to various topics that I have discussed, just kind of things in regards to self improvement, self awareness, just the things that we go on through in life. So, much like my audio podcast on the various different listening platforms, I want to go ahead and bring my podcast to YouTube. And in this episode, we're going to discuss a tragedy of a young woman named Amber Morgan. Amber Morgan was 26 years old. She was from Indianapolis, Indiana, and she was a kindergarten teacher. This hits extremely home because I am a teacher myself. And so anything that discusses the education field, my ears perk up. And unfortunately, this is a tragedy that I wanted to just discuss because we all need to be aware of incidences like this. So I'm going to go ahead and read you this article. Then afterwards, we're going to go ahead and talk about it. The parents of a kindergarten teacher said to have been injured by her husband spoke Monday to News 8. Now, News 8, of course, is the affiliate news station in Indianapolis. Also, I want the listeners to know that I'm not going to say any word that is not appropriate, not just for YouTube, but for the ears of the families and their loved ones. So I'm very sensitive to that. So I may say injured or unfortunate circumstance, but we all know that this is a tragedy. So, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department found 26-year-old Amber Cooley, formerly Amber Morgan, brutally injured after 7:15 a.m. Saturday in her home of West 30th Street and North White River Parkway East Drive. This woman, they don't make them like that, said Corey Morgan, Amber's father. He described his daughter as a bright star who loves being a mother. The last night they saw her, he said she went to Costco with her mother. She took everything up 2 flights of stairs, just having a 5-week old baby. He said she was a good mother and requested News 8 to use his daughter's maiden name, Morgan. Her husband, Robert Cooley, confessed to his wife's injuries. According to court documents, he told officers, I did something bad. I need to go to jail. And then later he said what he actually did. A police report says her face was unrecognizable. And in the article, they go in detail in regards to what they witnessed, what they, observed. And the officers also saw stains on Cooley's hands and clothing. Amber's parents said Amber and Cooley have been together for about 4 or 5 years. There were red flags with Cooley, but they didn't think it would go this far. Starley Hart, Amber's mom, said he was verbally attacking her and started to spiral out of control a little shortly after the birth of her baby. Amber's father added that he also threatened him and he tried to engage in a physical altercation with him as well. Amber's mom says Amber asked her for a petition for dissolution of marriage papers that night before she was injured. Corey said, we think he tried to confront her and she told him something he didn't want to hear. So they then talk about in the article where Amber was a kindergarten teacher at, and she just started this job April 2023. So, man, June of this year, well, April of this year would have made a year. The mother says she just cared for others so deeply. She has a history of connecting with anyone, her mom said. Now, her husband was arrested on that particular charge. It was a preliminary charge, and on Monday was in Marion County Jail without bond. Amber's parents said that they will be adopting Audrey, Amber's 5-week-old baby. Now we have to do the same and let her daughter know what kind of mother she had, said Amber's mom. I wanted to just discuss this particular situation. This was a tragedy of another individual that was gone too soon with the hands of someone that didn't value their life. There are many red flags that the father and mother was definitely aware of. And I know as you have adult daughters and adult sons, you still want to parent them, but you also feel like they have to make those decisions themselves because they're then older and you hope that they're steered to do the right thing. And I know that her mother and her father is completely distraught by this news. The fact that the father had a sense of respect for his daughter, because after the husband came at him in a way that was disrespectful, he could have handled it verbally, however, but I think he understood the level of situation his daughter was in at that time. With her being only 26 years old, they only were married for about, it said, 4 to 5 years. So that meant that they got married when they were young. And sometimes when you get married when you're young, you're still trying to find yourself, you're still trying to figure it out. And then they had a baby. So they didn't have any balance, I don't think, to begin with. The fact that she did petition a dissolution of marriage papers, it was a petition. It wasn't granted, it wasn't approved, it was just a petition. And it didn't say anything about there were police reports that was filed. But I think she was doing more talking to her parents or not telling them everything. So, maybe she could have filed those police reports and that petition would have been granted. It wouldn't have been a petition process. With my podcast, I just highlight certain things like this, which focuses on domestic violence, because this is exactly where we're at. You know, it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to feel like, okay, I'm a mother, I'm an adult, I don't want to run to my parents, but you have to run to someone. And it doesn't look like she ran to law enforcement, but unfortunately, at the last minute, she ran into the courts, but she talked about it. And I think talking about it, with a man that's unstable, a man that is not level headed, you don't want to say anything. You want to move in silence. I'm so sorry that happened to this young lady. Looked like her future was very bright. Um, she had a career in education. Looks like something that centered around the core of who she was as far as her patience. For her to have a beautiful 5-week old and to lose both parents, because I guarantee you, I don't think she would have a relationship with the father. I wouldn't. If I was a grandmother, I would tell baby girl, mm-mm. I would let her make the decision, but that overwhelming aspects of love and sincerity and support, she follows her mother footsteps and her grandparents. I don't think she would want to have any connection with the. I don't think she want to have a connection with that particular person that call themselves a father or a husband. There are specific definitions of what a husband is, a specific definition of what a parent is, a father is. He missed both marks. He missed both marks. I hope that the families get healing. I hope that those who listen are aware of moves that needs to be done or had or acknowledged, observed to do better. Value your life, value your kids' life, move in silence. If you get overwhelmed with, anxiousness, like, oh my goodness, this is the time I'm gonna step out. Don't tell anyone. Sometimes you can't even tell your family. Sometimes you can't even tell someone that you think would keep the secret. Move in silence because this particular person, the father did say he believed that when she told him that she filed for the petition for dissolution of marriage. He already knew that, you know, it wasn't right. People that are in that particular unstable mindset, they definitely want you to disconnect with your family. They don't want you to talk to them. Um, so I really want you guys to be self-aware, and I want you to do better because it just not happens with her. It happens with so many other women and men. Family of this woman, I just hope that you just ask the notion of healing because it's tough. It's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow, and it's actually because of someone else discrepancies, issues, unstable mindset. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast of Dropping Jewels. And stay tuned for some other videos. If you like this video, if you liked this content, if you wanted to know more about um, those things topics that you may not be aware of, that's what we're here for. Great conversational piece. Thank you for again for listening. Don't forget listen on all major platforms. Dropping jewels. All right, guys. Until next time. Peace.